big Sunday dinner. The double-set tub in my rented home was proof that my kitchen was once a laundry room. The sinks were full to the top. They needed emptying. I reached in, pulled both plugs up at the same time, and as I did, the pretty pink sponge that was floating around on the top simply swirled around, shriveled up, and disappeared down the drain. I could hardly believe my eyes. But shortly after that, the sinks wouldn't drain. So I called my husband and I told him what happened. And he said, a 6 by 4 inch sponge can't possibly go down the drain. You're wrong. But guess what? And I saw the sponge again. So we got under the sink, started to repair it. I went around in the kitchen, I saw a dirty dish, walked over to the sink, turned on the water, and up popped Leo with a look on his face that, I don't believe you. And he said, what are you doing? Louise, you know I'm under there. I said, oh, Leo, I know, I'm so sorry. And somehow I convinced him that I wouldn't do it again. Would you believe it? I did it again. And this time he popped up with a look on his face that only a wife can see when she knows her husband's about to kill her. He didn't. He picked me up, one hand under each elbow, and he walked me into the dining room, sat me on a chair, and he said, sit there and don't get up until I'm finished. And I didn't. Now, the middle of the week, Leo decided he was going to take the car in to be washed and waxed. And I, trying to get back in his good graces, I said, I'll do it. So I drove him to work. I took the car home. I started washing and waxing. And I was almost done, but the sun was in the wrong place. So I thought I'd back the car up to the side of the house where the shade was. I got in the car, and I always admired the way my husband held onto the door, looked out the back, and then backed up. So I thought I'd be cool and do the same thing. I got in, I opened the door, but I didn't hold on, and I didn't look back. And then I hit the side of the house. I panicked. I went forward. I almost hit a 3-car garage. I put on the brake, put it right in reverse again, went back and hit the house again. Now, I'm standing out there. I'm looking at all the disaster I caused. What happened? All of a sudden, I'm aware that I'm not alone. There are 3 men standing right beside me. And I said, where did you come from? They said, oh, lady, we've been up in that telephone pole all morning long watching you, and we cannot believe we saw what we saw. They helped me out. They tied a rope around the car, and I drove down to tell my husband the sad news. I walked into the Newport Creamery on Bellevue Avenue in Newport. My husband was really glad to see me. He threw out the welcome wagon, and I felt this big. Well, I told him what happened. He said, no, Louise, you couldn't do that. So we went out the back, and as we went out back, he saw the car, and he said, what's that rope doing around the car, Louise? I said, that's holding the door on. Can't be. So he ordered his men to take the rope down. They did. The door fell off, and Leo looked at me and he said, Louise, the door fell off. I said, Leo, that's what I've been trying to tell you. Now, the week wasn't over yet. Unfortunately, a next-door neighbor invited me to a cookout. And as I approached, she waved me over to the grill, and she said, the grill isn't catching right now. And as she said that, she poured lighter fluid on the grill, flames shot up, ash flew everywhere, and my little 5-year-old daughter, who was by my side, took off like a bat out of hell, and I ran after her. And as she ran, an ash flew on her head, and it started to catch fire. I ran after her, patting it out.
No.
And when I got home, I picked up the phone, I called my husband and told him that. And I told him, Carol's here, caught fire, but I put it out. She's all right. But my face is burnt in 3 spots, and I have no eyelashes. What will I do? What should I do? He said, Louise, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want, but do me a favor. Please don't call me again. And I didn't.